music, I felt like I ought to break into a song if that would be okay. Probably don't want to hear that. Secretary, I didn't know you went to Queen Street. That's my church. I do know a lot of things about you I like, and that's another thing. You know, when my first year in Raleigh, I was, everyone in the House is either on Appropriations Committee or on Finance Committee. And when you get there, you really don't know what you're going to be on. And if you really don't know what you're going to be on, you get put on the Appropriation Committee for General Government. And that's the one that does the Secretary of State's budget, the Treasurer's budget, the Governor's budget, the Lieutenant Governor's budget, Cultural Resources budget. You talk about having a lot of mad people. That is the worst appropriation committee to be on. But I will say, when Madam Secretary came and presented her budget that first year, and I was looking at some of the things they were doing, I was very impressed at how she had turned that department around, that area of government around, and was doing such a good job. And she has done an excellent job as Secretary of State. I hate to lose her as a Secretary of State. She's a good lady. I've called on her several times with issues, and she's always been able to help me. And I'm going to miss her when she's in the U.S. Senate. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this past year, and then maybe what I see coming next year. It's like Madam Secretary said, this was undoubtedly the toughest. Back when you were there, things were a whole lot easier back then than what they've been this year. But it was a very tough budget year. The Speaker of the House, Speaker Hackney, said, I've been here almost 30 years, and I've never seen things as tough as they are this year. When we went back to Raleigh last January, we were looking at about a $2 billion budget deficit. And we were all saying, I left town, I remember people calling me. Wilbur King called me and said, don't raise taxes. Wilbur, don't worry about it. We got this under control. We're not going to raise any taxes. And as we got to Raleigh, things just progressively got worse. By March and April, we were $3 billion in the hole. And then in June, we were $4 billion deficit short. And unknowns out there. North Carolina lost, depending on how you look at it, or who you read rather, we lost somewhere between 250,000 and 270,000 jobs. My brother's son's an engineer with a master's degree. He's been laid off from his job for about 6 months. So it's a tough economy to be in. And they're projecting, hopefully, 30,000 to 35,000 new jobs this year. We'll do the math. 35,000 jobs versus 250,000 jobs, that leaves a lot of people still unemployed. So we're going to have a tough budget year again this year. But by doing what we did last year, we were able to put ourselves in the right positions where we need to be to move forward this coming year. We'll get through this. There's no question we'll get through this. And the state of North Carolina will look a little different. We've cut over 50 programs completely out that were obsolete, that we didn't need anymore. And we made other cuts in over 500 programs across the state. We were responsible. We did what we needed to do to balance the budget, to look after the state of North Carolina. North Carolina is projected to have over 9.2 million people when we have our next census coming up next year. Well, my brother's son lives in Raleigh. Up until the recession, they were adding 7,000 new students every year. Well, here again, do the math. At 30 kids in a classroom, that's 230-some new teachers that have to be hired every year. The state pays for the first school bus for the new school districts, or when you have that kind of increase in population. So look at all the school buses, not to mention the number of new schools. So our state is growing. Our state is growing, and so that makes our revenues increase because we have to provide these services. We'll continue to work hard. In this interim session, I've never seen, and I'm hearing other folks who've been there much longer than me saying how hard the committees are working to prepare for our short session that starts in May. I'm on 5 different committees. I'm on a small business committee. I'm on a committee that the Lieutenant Governor heads up, a jobs committee, which is joining our businesses and schools, which I'm real proud of. I'm on a blue ribbon panel with the state health plan. Last year, before we left Raleigh, we thought everything was great. So we're going to have about $17 million left over in the state health plan. A week later, said, wait a minute, we're wrong. You're going to be $250 million in the hole. So there's 3 members in the House and 3 members in the Senate and a couple other folks from private industry, private insurance industries that are working on how can we make the state health plan better. I'm on the Mental Health Oversight Committee that looks after our most vulnerable citizens. They took the largest hit in the budget this year. They took $1.4 billion hit. They take the big hit because they're on the bottom of the pole. Everybody wants education first, and I understand that. And everybody wants to be safe, so justice and public safety is next. I understand that. But we need to look after our most vulnerable citizens, our children with autism, our children that have mental retardation and mental illness and developmental disabilities. We need to look after those kids because nobody else is out there to look after them. So it's a tough job when you have to cut those kinds of programs, but we had to do what we had to do this year. I feel like we've done as good a job as we could do, as anyone could do, looking after the state this year. And we're going to have some challenges this year coming up. But I know that we will work hard, and we won't please everybody, but we will keep our state moving forward. Our state is projected by the year 2020 to have another 4 million people in the state. That's the number of people that live in South Carolina. So by 2020, we're going to have the state of South Carolina moving to North Carolina. So we got to have infrastructure. We got to have roads. We got to have water and sewer. There's a lot of issues out there that need people that are willing to do the work, to do the homework, to see what's the best, how we can transition into a state that was a rural state into a state that's going to be an urban state. And I think we're the people to do the job. I thank you for coming out tonight. This is going to be an extremely tough and extremely important election. I hope you will decide to roll up your sleeves and work with Secretary Marshall and myself and the other candidates in this room and help us get out and get our message out and do what it takes to get us reelected, because we're going to do the best for the state of North Carolina. And I'm sure Madam Secretary and I will be glad to answer any questions you might have, if that's okay with you, Deborah. If you have any questions of me or Secretary Marshall, will be glad to try to answer them. I guess we did a good job. Thank you.